Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive into the Singapore market?
Definitely. It's Irene here, and I'm excited to get into today's news. We've got a lot to cover, so let's jump right in.
All right, let's do it. So today we're going to be focusing on four companies that are really making headlines. The kind of rapid-fire market digest that's perfect for the busy investor. We're talking SingPost, TopGlove, Semcorp, and Citrium.
Sounds good. Big names, interesting stories. We'll break down the key data, recent developments, and what it all means for your investment strategy.
Let's start with SingPost. And, well, this one's a bit of a doozy. The CEO and several other top executives have been let go. And the reason? Allegations of some pretty serious misconduct. This all stems from their international e-commerce business.
Yeah, it's a big deal. We're not just talking about a minor slip-up here. There's a whistleblower report, and even the police are involved.
Exactly. I mean, this isn't just some internal shuffle. This is a full-blown scandal. So, for our listeners out there, what are the key takeaways? What should they be thinking about with SingPost right now?
Well, the allegations themselves are pretty damning. We're hearing that employees were actually manipulating data manually. And the goal? To avoid getting hit with penalties from a major customer.
Wow, that's pretty bold, isn't it? Trying to hide things from a big client like that, it's risky.
Definitely. And SingPost itself is using some strong language in their statements. They're talking about gross negligence and serious misrepresentations. These aren't just corporate buzzwords. It points to a potential problem that runs pretty deep.
Yeah, that's not a good look for any company, let alone one as big as SingPost.
Absolutely. Investors definitely need to be paying attention to how this investigation unfolds. And they need to ask themselves, can SingPost recover from this? Can they rebuild their reputation?
Good point. I mean, reputation is everything in business. And in the investment world, trust is crucial.
Exactly. Now, one thing to remember is that Temasek Holdings is a major backer of SingPost. That could offer some stability, but the coming weeks are going to be crucial. We need to see how this all plays out.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. From a company facing some serious challenges to one that's bouncing back. TopGlove. They've been through a rough patch, but they're reporting a Q1 profit of RM 5.5 million. Not bad, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive turnaround, especially considering they were reporting losses not too long ago. This profit is largely driven by higher sales volume and improved margins.
Right, so they're selling more and making more on each sale. That's a good recipe for success. But here's the thing. Their share price actually dipped, almost 5%.
Yeah, that's a bit strange, isn't it? You'd think good news would equal a bump in the stock price.
Exactly. So what's going on there? Is the market missing something?
Well, here's what I think is happening. The market is probably reacting to some broader trends in the glove industry. The demand for gloves, which was through the roof during the pandemic, has come down.
Right, makes sense. People aren't as worried about, touching things anymore.
Exactly. So now there's an oversupply of gloves, and that can put pressure on prices. Even for a company like TopGlove that's doing well individually, the overall industry climate can weigh on investor confidence.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So even with good individual performance, it's crucial to look at the bigger picture.
Exactly. Now, let's move on to a company that's getting recognition for its sustainability efforts, Semcorp. They've just been added to the Dow Jones Sustainability Index. And get this, they're the only new company from Singapore to make the cut.
That's a big deal. The DJSI is really selective. They only include companies that are leading the way in ESG performance.
Right. Environmental, social, and governance, these factors are becoming increasingly important for investors. And Semcorp's inclusion in this index is a big signal. It shows they're walking the walk when it comes to sustainability.
So what does this actually mean for Semcorp? What are the concrete benefits of being on this list?
Well, for starters, it puts them on the radar of a whole new group of investors. We're talking about funds and individuals who specifically target companies with strong ESG profiles.
Ah, so it's almost like a stamp of approval.
Exactly. And that can attract new capital, which is always a good thing. Plus, it enhances their reputation. It shows they're not just talking about sustainability, they're actually doing something about it.
Great point. All right, let's wrap things up with Citrium. They've just scored a huge contract from BP. They're going to be building a deepwater production unit for the Gulf of Mexico. That's pretty exciting stuff.
It is. This is a massive project. We're talking about a greenfield development, which means it's a brand new site, totally undeveloped before.
I'm trying to picture this. Where exactly is this going to be located?
Well, get this. 402 kilometers southwest of New Orleans. That's pretty far out in the Gulf. And it's going to be in water that's 6,000 feet deep. That's a lot of water.
Wow, that's impressive. So what exactly does this deep water production unit do? How does it all work?
It's basically a huge floating platform that's connected to wells drilled deep beneath the ocean floor. From there, they can extract oil and gas.
It's amazing what we can do with technology these days.
It really is. And the fact that BP chose Citrium for this project is a testament to their expertise in this area. Deepwater energy production is a specialized field, and Citrium is clearly a leader.
Okay, so let's take a step back for a second. We've covered a lot of ground today. We've seen a company embroiled in scandal, another staging a comeback, a company being recognized for its sustainability efforts, and another securing a major contract in a growing industry. It's a lot to process.
It is, and it really highlights the fact that the market is constantly changing. There are always risks and rewards to consider.
Exactly. And I think that leads us to a really important question for our listeners. How do you make sense of it all?
That's the key, isn't it? Staying informed is crucial. Read the news, do your research, understand the companies you're investing in, and be aware of the broader industry trends.
And remember, there's no crystal ball. Investing always involves some level of risk. But as we've seen today, there are also great opportunities out there. So stay informed, do your homework, and good luck out there.
And one last thought to leave you with. We've seen the ups and downs, the good and the bad. SingPost struggling, TopGlove recovering. Think about what that tells you about evaluating a company. What red flags should you be watching for? What signals point towards a strong future?
Great questions, lots to ponder. Thanks everyone for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then.